Prior to our quarantine, I was lifting 5 days a week or so, and I had reached a point where I was no longer seeing progress. I would wake up every day, and I wasn't happy with myself. I felt stuck, and even though I wanted to get lean, I would find myself late night in the cabinet, eating a quick 1,000 calories like it was nothing. I found myself struggling to control my eating habits, even though I would tell myself all day long that today was going to be a good day of eating. I was unhappy and frustrated with the way I was living. Then, we got put in quarantine, and I decided it was time to change. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but I was ready to make the commitment to better myself. Since the gyms were closed, I knew I needed to find a new place to work out. A buddy of mine on the football team had a squat and bench rack, so I asked if I could come lift. This quickly turned into a daily occurrence, and 3 other kids and myself started going there 6 times a week. This was the start of it all, as we kept each other accountable to show up every day. At the start, it definitely felt like a chore to get out of bed every morning, but it soon became something I would look forward to. About 2 weeks into doing this, we knew that we had to look beyond just our workouts, and we decided that we needed to change our diets. We all made a collective agreement that we were going to start keto and to be in a caloric deficit. Keto is a diet where you limit yourself to a maximum of 20 carbs a day and you eat a ton of protein and fats. The idea behind it is if you cut out the body's main source of energy, which is carbs, the body will use fat as its main source of energy. Being in a caloric deficit meant that you had to eat less calories than what your body burns. This meant that we had to eat less and go to bed hungry. I can say now that we had no clue what we were getting ourselves into. The first week of doing this may have been one of the most mentally challenging weeks of my life. I had absolutely no energy, and I found myself constantly cranky and hungry. It was draining, and I will say if I didn't have those other 3 doing the same thing, I don't know if I would have pushed through that first week. But once we were through that initial struggle, we gained some momentum and we weren't going to give up on it. We were still lifting 6 days a week, and we were pushing ourselves harder than ever. One of our favorite makeshift workouts that we would do at the end of lifting was to push a Jeep an entire block 4 or 5 times each. Even about 2 weeks in, we started seeing results. We were all starting to look much leaner and defined, and seeing results like that gave me confidence that it was working and to stay with it. We continued doing keto and working out for about 2 months, and we learned that keto for too long can be harmful to the body, so we decided to stop. However, the results we had all seen were immaculate. I had lost 10 pounds while being able to put on a good amount of muscle at the same time. It was by far the leanest I've ever been, and I knew the last 2 months had all been worth it. Even after we stopped our keto diet, it was ingrained into my head that the way you eat makes all the difference with lifting and whatnot. For the rest of the summer, I was eating healthy and making it a part of my everyday life to cook 3 meals a day for myself. It was no longer a chore to avoid bad foods because I started seeing food as a means for fuel, not pleasure. Coming to college made it challenging to eat as good as I had been eating, but I'm still trying my best to do so. In the future, whenever I am able to live on my own and cook for myself, I know I'm going to go back to how I was eating last summer. Those months of keto and hard work changed my life significantly, and it was the first time I felt like I could control my impulses and just my life in general. In a way, I learned that discipline is the key to freedom because I was no longer a puppet to those late night feasts my brain wanted. Ultimately, it changed me for the better, and I know how I'm going to go about my life moving forward. I decided to finish off this clip with showing a video of my buddy hitting 275 on bench for the first time. This was a huge goal of his, and it just shows the progress that we made in this short amount of time. All in all, this was a great experience, and thank you for listening.